Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel and to a new segment of Ask the Coach. I'm David Mathis. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. I know there's a lot of stuff you could be doing with your time, so I really appreciate all your support and interest in my channel and this topic in particular. If you are new or you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and share. Hit that little notification button because I am putting out a lot of different content. I have a few different series going on that you won't want to miss. So today, the question that I got was from somebody on Instagram. If you want to get a hold of me on Instagram, it's at mathasfitnes, M-A-T-H-A-S fitness. I'll have all that information in the description box below. But the question was, what is better for fat loss, cardio or weight training? I love this question, guys. I love this question because this seems to be a very common question that we've gotten for decades, right? And with all the information out there, it still seems to be a little unclear to people. So I thought this was a really good question to do a topic video on to help try to, ease your guys' mind, answer some questions, and clarify things for you a little bit. So when it comes to fat loss, we know that we want to be in a calorie deficit, right? And we can do that by either lowering the amount of food we're taking in, or we can increase our energy activity, our energy output, right? Or we can do a little bit combination of both, okay? Ideally, I like the idea of a little bit of combination of both because you're not only putting yourself into a deficit below maintenance calories so that you can try to burn more fat and lose more weight, but you're also adding the element of physical activity, strengthening of your muscles, which in turn leads to more lean body mass, and more lean body mass leads to an increased metabolic rate, which is exactly what we want, right? So when it comes to the question, which is better for that, cardio or weight training, I obviously think the answer is both, okay? We need to have a combination for both. But I think it's important to understand what each does. So cardio is more of an aerobic activity, right? So fat is going to be the primary fuel source. But here's the thing is, when you get onto an elliptical or a treadmill or a stair step or whatever it is, say you do it for 30 minutes and you burn 300 to 400 calories, right? Well, the calorie burning stops pretty much at that point because of there's something called Epoch, excess post-oxygen consumption. And this is basically the rate at which your body's taking in oxygen to help repair the body, all right? So the Epoch is very minimal with cardio, but you burn a lot of calories during that time. Whereas weight training, you don't burn nearly as many calories as you would during a 30 or 45 minute session on a piece of cardio equipment. However, what you're doing is increasing your Epoch, that excess post-oxygen consumption, for up to even 48 hours, depending on how intense that activity was that you performed, like weight training, right? So what you're doing is you're either taking that maybe 300 or 400 calories that you're burning at that time during cardio, or maybe you're taking the 200 or so calories, maybe 250 that you're burning during weight training, but you have to account for the extra calories that are being burned for the up to 48 hours later, right? That you're not getting during cardio because of the increase in Epoch that I talked about. So when combining a little bit of cardio and some weight training, that really enhances your efforts greatly, okay? Because as we're dieting down and we're losing body fat, we're not just losing body fat, okay? We're also losing lean body tissue. And that is, like I said before, what is actually metabolically active and what we want to hold on to. You don't want to just strip away all this fat and lose a lot of muscle along the way too. You're not going to have anything to show for it. Your metabolism is going to tank and it's going to severely adapt to those lower calories. Whereas if you are weight training a little bit more, not only are you able to hold on to more muscle so that when you strip the fat, you have a better look to you, but metabolically speaking, you are going to be in a much better position. You're going to be able to have higher maintenance calories because you're going to have more lean body mass, more muscle tissue that is going to be metabolically active and that you're going to need to feed. Okay, so when you're choosing whether or not to do cardio for fat loss or weight training, you need to have an element of both because they are both very important. Like I said, cardio is more of an aerobic activity, right? And more of a steady state activity that uses fat as its primary fuel source. So you're gonna wanna look at doing something 30 to 45 minutes, probably 3 to 4 times a week, keeping your heart rate in about that 60 to 75% of your heart rate max zone. So how do you find your heart rate max? Well, you take 220 minus your age, and that's going to give you what your heart rate max is, okay? From there, you could take 60%, you could take 65, 70, 75%, and figure out what heartbeats per minute that you need to be at in order to kind of fall in that zone. That's a pretty good estimate, okay? It's not 100% perfect, but it is a very, very valuable tool to have. So when thinking about what you want to do for fat loss, you definitely want to keep cardio in, because cardio is not just good for burning calories, it's good for your heart health. First and foremost, that's what the purpose of cardio is for, right? Also, what it does is it helps those nutrient partitioning. So the food you're taking in, it helps shuttle it to your muscles in the areas that actually need it, instead of storing it as fat. So you combine cardio with an effective and well thought out weight training program, so that you are helping to retain as much of that muscle tissue as possible as dieting down. Because what we don't want to do is start getting into such of a deficit that your body's forced to draw from your muscles, right? From biceps, chest, abs, butt, legs, wherever, that it needs fuel in order to keep fueling your everyday activity. Because the body's main goal, guys, is homeostasis, right? Its main goal is to keep you alive. It's not to get you shredded, or it's not to get you jacked. But combining a well thought out cardio program along with a weight training program is the best way to go in order to have a very, very successful fat loss, okay? So I hope this helped you guys a little bit. Hopefully it clarified some questions you might be having. If you have any other questions you want me to do a video on that I haven't yet, leave them in the comment section below. You can follow me at mathasfitnes on Instagram, MATHAS Fitness on Instagram, like I said. Visit my website, www.coachdavidmathis.com. And if you guys are looking for coaching, I am accepting new clients right now, so please reach out to me, mathasfitnes@gmail.com. All that information is